on February the 4th, 1846, Charles Shumway ferried across the Mississippi River and started the westward migration of Latter-day Saints from Nauvoo, Illinois. For 3 weeks in frigid temperatures, wagons ferried across the river, often steering clear of large ice chunks. Then, after Charles C. Rich walked across the frozen Mississippi River on February the 25th, scores of additional refugees crossed the river on solid ice. The winter withdrawal from Nauvoo, in particular, caused unimaginable hardship for these faithful Latter-day Saints. What was it that gave those early church members such strength? What fueled their devotion and enabled them to press forward in overwhelmingly adverse conditions? It was the fire of the temple covenants and ordinances that burned in their hearts. It was their commitment to worship and honorably hold a name and standing in the house of the Lord. The lessons learned in Nauvoo and along the trails as the saints traveled west continue to bless us to this very day. On November the 10th, 2020, government officials in a large jurisdiction announced that religious organizations should suspend all public gatherings and meetings. These restrictions were intended to help reduce the spread of COVID-19 and would be in effect for a minimum of 3 weeks, and likely longer. The announcement included a 3-day warning that all operations would cease by midnight on Friday, November the 13th. Temple leaders and workers in one temple prayed earnestly for direction, counseled together, and sought inspiration from heaven. Answers came. The doors of the temple would remain open, and the lights would not be turned off until midnight on Friday, the 13th of November. The tasks that needed to be completed seemed absolutely overwhelming. So many things to do and so little time to get them done. The work began. Phone calls were made, emails were sent, text messages were delivered and answered. Volunteers were requested and they responded by the dozens. The temple doors opened early Wednesday morning, and the lights were not turned off until midnight on Friday. The most common theme that I heard from the workers was that this felt like Nauvoo, when the saints needed to leave but kept coming to the temple to receive their temple ordinances. And just like Nauvoo, I saw sacrifices made by people who love the Lord and who love the temple. The identical spirit that drew Latter-day Saints to the temple in Nauvoo clearly was at work in November of last year. And it is operating today and will continue into the future.